Hello and welcome everyone, it is me, TheLaval, also known as the Power Tool Duelist, back for you with another video and another deck profile. And today I'll be showing you guys my Evil Eye list. Actually made a straight out of the toolbox on this deck, I think 2 months ago. Yeah, about 2 months ago after the September ban list, because that was the time I really started picking up some control heavy decks. And let's get into it with 3 Zerziel, Watcher of the Evil Eye. On normal summon, he will search any Evil Eye card from your deck to your hand, except himself. And if he is equipped with Evil Eye of Selene, you can by quick effect target a special summon monster your opponent controls and destroy that monster. But as kind of a cost, you have to destroy one of your cards during your next standby phase. So he's definitely neat. He's your main guy and your main normal summon. Definitely a card you want to max out on. Oops. And yeah. Next up, we have 3 Medusa, Watcher of the Evil Eye. When she's normal summoned, she will grab back an Evil Eye card from your graveyard. And if she is equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene, she will by quick effect target a monster in your opponent's graveyard and banish that monster. Kind of a DD Crow-esque effect, which of course can be neat, but during your next standby phase, you have to banish a card from your graveyard as a payback to you, so to say. And yeah. Then we have 3 Pass, Familiar of the Evil Eye. Target an Evil Eye spell or trap you control, and until the end of the next turn, that card cannot be destroyed or by your opponent's card effects. And if you control another Evil Eye monster except himself, while he's in your graveyard, you can special summon him, but you banish him when he leaves the field, which is rather neat and the cool part about both of the familiars. So you are able to rather easily go into your link plays, and that's why I do max out on all of the main deck Evil Eyes. And we have 3 Basilisk, Familiar of the Evil Eye. When he's on your field, first of all, if you control an Evil Eye monster except himself, you can special summon him. Oh, you can special him just by controlling an Evil Eye monster. He doesn't have the same restriction as Pass, my bad there. But yeah, you can special summon him if you control an Evil Eye monster, and during your main phase, you can just mill a Evil Eye spell or trap from your deck to the grave, which is of course neat in combination with recursion effects such as Medusa. So yeah, and also because he is more proactive than Pass, you definitely want to see him in your opening hands when you want to maybe go for a Gorgon play. But yeah, that is it with him. Then we of course max out on the most important card of the deck, Evil Eye of Selene. You can only equip this to one of your Evil Eye monsters, and the monster cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target it with card effects, which is a lot of protection and turns this deck kind of in a protect the castle style of deck, which then just uses its traps to kind of out-resource its opponent, which I think is really cool. Also, it's equip based, so I might be a bit biased, but yeah. When you activate another Evil Eye spell or trap card, the equipped monster gains 500 attack, and if it does, you lose 500 life points. The attack gain is permanent, even if that card leaves the field. And if this thing is in your graveyard, you can pay 1000 life points and banish an Evil Eye spell or trap from your graveyard, except itself, and set this card. But yeah, of course, great. You can recur this, you want to search this as much as possible, and just turn one of your Evil Eye monsters in this unbeatable, untargetable monster that just gets bigger and bigger by each turn. Which is, of course, something that you can then use to out-resource and out-grind your opponent. But yeah, great card indeed. But you need to watch out for those life points cost, because during testing I've ran into many cases where that was my doom. Then I do play 2 Evil Eye of Gorgoneo. You can only equip this to an Evil Eye monster, and while it is in your spell and trap card zone, it is treated as Evil Eye of Selene, which is important for a lot of the cards in this deck. And while you have less life points than your opponent, the equipped monster gains attack equal to the difference, which is kind of neat. But the main problem with this is that it's lacking Selene's protection, but you want to mill this to the graveyard because you can banish this and discard an Evil Eye card from your hand to add an Evil Eye spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is rather neat, and especially if you mill this off Basilisk, or maybe if you want to go a more Foolish Burial Goods kind of route, you can definitely go into a good amount of searching using the graveyard effect of Gorgoneo. Then we do play 3 of the field spell Evil Eye Domain Pareidolia. When it's activated, you add an Evil Eye monster from your deck to your hand. Mostly you want to add Cerziel with this, and once per turn during damage calculation, if your Evil Eye monster is attacked while Evil Eye of Selene is in your spell and trap zone, you can make the battle damage from this battle be inflicted to both players, so your opponent does take the damage as well. And if this card in your field zone is destroyed by a card effect, you can target an Evil Eye monster in your graveyard and add that target to your hand. Main way might be Cerziel's cost, so to say, that he has to destroy one of your cards in your next standby phase after you pop one of your opponent's special summoned monsters. So you might get rid of it that way and fetch an Evil Eye monster back, but just watch out that you don't pop anything important. So yeah. Of course, we do run the one terraforming. Had to grab it real quick. To just search out the field spell, because grabbing field spell with this and searching a Cerziel will most likely result in us having Cerziel with Evil Eye of Selene on the board. And I still run the 2 Evil Eye Repose. When you activate this card, you can banish an Evil Eye card from your graveyard to draw 1. And once per turn after damage calc, if your Evil Eye monster equipped with Evil Eye of Selene attacked an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster. And if this card in a spell or trap zone is destroyed by a card effect, you can target up to 3 of your banished Evil Eye cards and return them to the graveyard. Of course, another target you can definitely pop off Cerziel's effect, which is rather neat, because the recursion you can get of this and also the field spell is rather neat and makes the fact that you have to destroy one of your own cards a bit less painful. But the draw one is also neat, and the banishing lets you work around a lot of graveyard effects, which is rather neat. So yeah. Then I do run the 1 Evil Eye Awakening this time. You can summon 1 Evil Eye monster, especially summon 1 Evil Eye monster from your hand or graveyard. And if Evil Eye of Selene is in your spell and trap card zone, you can instead summon an Evil Eye monster from your deck, which is of course neat. Lets you fetch the familiars from your deck to go into link plays, and also just grabbing Evil Eye monsters from hand or grave is rather neat as well, because it enables a few plays. So yeah, I do just run it at 1 because I do run the Pot of Duality for draw power, so you might have turns where you can't special summon. The 1 Evil Eye Confrontation. Get rid of spells and traps. Also, a neat part about this is if you control Evil Eye of Selene, it banishes that spell and trap instead of just destroying it, which of course works around a lot of prevalent graveyard effects. Initially, I ran 2, but the 1 got cut for Gorgoneo, kind of, for the extra added searching. So I think the 1-off is fine if you need some spell and trap removal. Then we still run 3 Allure of Darkness, also one of the reasons why I do max out on all the Evil Eye main deck monsters, because you do have a lot of targets for this, and sometimes you do have a spare Medusa, a spare Cerziel, or maybe one of the familiars in hand that you just don't need right now. So you can definitely banish that. Also, you can recur your banished Evil Eyes by using Repose Destruction effect. Then I do, as mentioned, run 3 Pot of Duality. This is an old card, and this card did not age well because it lets you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and add one of those to your hand. Other 2 get shuffled into your deck, and you can, after that, you can special summon any monsters. In a control deck, sometimes this does let you get into your setup really easily, because using this, then grabbing maybe a Cerziel and just normal summoning Cerziel, grabbing Selene and then just setting up with a bit of back row is something that is rather good, I'd say. And sometimes you just don't have the possibilities for a link play, which is why I think Pot of Duality is a really good card in this deck. So yeah, you just don't work that much with special summoning. Then I just play the one Foolish Burial, either ditching any Evil Eye monster if I have the field spell on board and might pop it in the coming turns with Cerziel, or just to mill Catobble Pass and basically guarantee myself a Link 2 in the form of Gorgon, which is rather neat. So yeah. Then we do run 3 Evil Eye Defeat. If you control an Evil Eye monster, target a monster on the field, that monster gets returned to the hand, and if you have Evil Eye of Selene in your spell and trap card zone, you can instead target 2. Which of course is really neat, because just getting rid of 2 monsters, or basically compulsing 2 monsters back to the hand, especially with extra deck monsters, then just returning back to the extra deck is really neat. And yeah, this is definitely your main way of interrupting your opponent's plays, so it is really cool and you definitely want to max out on this. Then another cool card you want to max out on, Evil Eye Retribution. Just a counter trap that while you control an Evil Eye monster, negates a spell or trap your opponent activates. And if you have Evil Eye of Selene in your spell and trap card zone, your opponent cannot respond or negate this card's activation, which is really great and definitely lets you keep your opponent from resolving those spells and traps. And then just capping off the main deck are 2 Evil Eye Mesmerisms. If your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, activate this card by targeting one of those special summoned monsters in attack with less attack than an Evil Eye monster, take control of that monster, and when that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. And while Evil Eye of Selene is in your spell and trap card zone, that targeted monster is also treated as an Evil Eye monster. This can net you extra materials for your link plays, because it turns, while you control Selene, turns the monster you stole into an Evil Eye monster. And yeah, I just run it because I have these fancy secret rares from Infinity Chasers, and I think it's a rather neat card, because you don't have a lot of decks that work with stealing your opponent's monsters. Aliens might be one that pops into the mind, but just because it works rather fun, I run it. So then going into the extra deck, capping off is of course a playset of Cerziel, Ruler of the Evil Eye. He takes 2 or more Evil Eye monsters, and if he's link summoned using a monster with 2600 or more attack, he can make a second attack during each battle phase. You of course want to get your Cerziel to 26 and then link him off into him to have him be able to swing twice. If he's equipped with Evil Eye of Selene, you can buy quick effect, target a card your opponent controls and destroy that target, and just like the other bigger Evil Eye monsters, you have to, during your next standby phase, negate the effect of an effect monster he currently points to, and because he has an upwards pointing arrow, you can definitely screw over your opponent that way as well. So yeah, he is cool, he's kind of your boss monster, but the main deck definitely has enough staying power and punching power to keep winning games. Then we have 3 Gorgon, Empress of the Evil Eye. 2 monsters including an Evil Eye monster, and this lady gains 100 attack for each Evil Eye card with different names in your grave, and if she is equipped with Evil Eye of Selene, you can buy quick effect, target an effect monster your opponent controls, and negate that monster's effects until the end of the turn. You can only use the effect once, and once per turn during your next standby phase after her effect was activated, you destroy 1 monster she points to. Just like Cerziel, she has an upwards pointing arrow, so you definitely have some ways to screw over your opponent like that, which is rather neat. Then I just run the 1 Wee Witch Apprentice. The boost sometimes definitely comes in handy, as well as the recursion effect, but I think after you go through your archetypal link monsters, you definitely have very free reign with your extra deck choices. Magnite Crusadia Avramax, you could probably also include a Boreal Sword Dragon to give this deck an OTK option of sorts, and I do also run a Decode Talker. Just include link monsters you like. I just went with these. Yeah, then into some Xyz monsters. I do run a small Utopia package consisting of number 39 and the Lightning. Just to get over problematic things, you do rarely have the opportunity to go into a rank 4, but it is definitely an option, and you do not have to break your neck to make one of those rank 4s, which is rather helpful, because there are a lot of great rank 4s in this game. I do run one number 3, Cicada King, because this is a monster negate after all. And it's a 3k wall if you negate an effect, which is also rather neat. So yeah. I do run one Dante. You can make him in this deck, and you definitely have enough graveyard setup or graveyard effects to make something out of the 3 mills you get off his effect, and he's probably one of the better rank 3s that the game has ever seen. And also he would enable you to go into Beatrice, but I do not have a Beatrice, which is sad. And just capping off the extra deck, I just Castle and Tornado Dragon for monsters and spell and trap removal. Yeah, nothing much to say there, honestly. Yeah, but this will be it for my Evil Eye deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely check out the straight out of the toolbox on this deck. I will leave a link below to that if you want to see more combos or just in general setup and explaining to the deck. I will thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Any of that stuff really helps. And yeah, I will thank you guys again very much for watching. And I hope I will see you again next time. But until then, goodbye.